Welcome to the Vet S.O.S. Veteran Educational Resources Spotlight. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the Vet S.O.S. Lifeline. Vet S.O.S. is brought to you by the Who You Know Network and is a proud member of the Parade Deck community. I am here with my co-host, Dr. Hira. How are you doing today, Hira?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you. Excited to be here. Get to know about another school.
Oh, absolutely. Very excited about this. And then here we go. We're going to see if we can not butcher the name. I'm really good at this. So today we're sitting down with Robert Vigneault, Assistant Director, Veteran and Military Services at Westfield State University. Robert's background and journey to working in higher education is long and diverse. He served in the Air Force, was a stay-at-home dad, and worked in various roles in education and veteran services on his journey to working for Westfield State University. His journey began at Holyoke Community College in 2017, managing a veteran center called The Bunker. He then transitioned to the role of school certifying official for Holyoke, followed by a dual position with Greenfield Community College. In 2023, after graduating from Southern New Hampshire University, he assumed his current position with Westfield and is currently enrolled in a Master's in Public Administration program. How are you doing today, Robert?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, so glad we could get you on here. Really looking forward to hearing about the school. But let's start real quick. Just a quick story about your transition out of the military. How did that go for you?
For me, the transition was hard. I had grown up in an Army family. My father was in the Army. He was a vet as well. So by the time I got in the Air Force and got out of the Air Force, it was everything that I knew was the service. I found out very quickly that it's very hard to make friends with civilians as quickly as you do with military. I'm sure everybody has heard the stories, with military, a month down the line, you've got a lifetime friend, someone who's going to watch your back, you're going to watch their back. With civilians, it takes a little bit longer. There's years involved with some of them. But I really didn't know where I was going. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. There was a program back then that kind of showed you the door militarily to civilian wise, but it really wasn't involved with what we have today with transition assistance programs and stuff like that. For the most part, it was here's your military job, here's what it will look like in civilian speak, go write a resume, and out the door you go. So for me, it was a tough transition. That's something that I bring with me, especially when I'm talking to new veterans that are coming out now.
Oh, absolutely. Learning from the bad experience is definitely a way to go. And it sounds like you and our co-founder, Mark, was probably transitioning about the same time. He showed me one time he still had the little book they gave him about transition out of the Air Force. All right. So what made you want to work in higher education? What was that drive to move to that?
That is actually a little bit of a long story. My base.
I had 15 minutes.
I gotcha. I'll summarize. My base was actually Bracked, so they closed us down. This was back when Reagan and Gorbachev were doing their nuclear arms stand down. Then all of a sudden, all these bases closed down. They did a reduction in force, so we were literally pushed out. I got into the reserve, wanting to maintain that military connection. Met my wife after we got married. We had a daughter. I became a stay-at-home dad. So for me, it was bouncing around, following her career for over 9 moves, and we literally bounced across the country. But every place I landed, I tried to find something to stay on the schedule, on my daughter's schedule, but I also was going to school. Now, back then, you had to wait a year to maintain, in residency in order to get in-state tuition. So I didn't have a lot of opportunities, but I did have some. But getting into the higher education and learning and, trying to achieve a mechanical engineering degree over a period of, she was in the Air Force for 33 years. So, but we landed up here, and we promised our daughter that once she started high school, we wouldn't do any moves. So we landed up in New England, where, funnily enough, my family is actually from, genealogy-wise. But I got into Holyoke Community College, And that is where this whole thing started. I had somebody who kind of took me under a wing to show me what is out there for us veterans, especially some that are, we have no idea where we wanted to go. And that's how it all got started. After the school certifying official at Holyoke had retired, she was already transitioning into, training me into transitioning into the SEO field. And, the whole long story short is I went from part-time HCC to full-time HCC and GCC. I was going to SNHU, graduated with my bachelor's degree, and literally the next day I was hired at Westfield State. I hope that was short enough for you.
Yeah, love it when it all works out there, Dr. Hira.
That is excellent. And I am an HCC myself. I started at Holyoke Community College. It launched me and my whole academic career. And I think the community colleges often get overlooked, but man, are they a great place to start off. So thank you for sharing about that. Now that you're at Westfield, roughly how many military connected students do you have attending the college?
So we have over 200 veterans, and we have over 300 that are military connected.
Wow. Excellent. And do you have a dedicated resource center or space for them on your campus where they can come and interact?
Absolutely. It's called the Military Community Excellence Center. The MCEC is a great place for our military connected students. We have a nice open space. We have printers. We have our own laptops. The printers part is usually the go-to for most students. So we do have a snack bar. I usually keep our refrigerator loaded with quick snacks, quick breakfast. Always have a good cup of coffee. You can't go wrong with that. We do have tea as well for those that like tea. But we do have an open and very inviting center. We have a table in there that it's a multi-use table. So it's a foosball table, a pool table, a ping pong table, for those days that we want to do stuff like that. We do have a Westfield State Veteran Alliance Student Club, then that's open to all students. We have our meetings there as well. My assistant and I are also in there. We have our own offices right off the center, so we're readily available to any student that needs it.
Excellent. Really one-stop shop kind of opportunity, which can make it a lot easier to connect to all the resources that are needed.
Very much so. And that's actually one of the things that I'm very proud of, is that we are a resource center. Where our resources are either here at Westfield State, either locally or nationally. And we always tout that if we don't have a resource for you, we'll find a resource for you. If someone's coming in for a hand or they need some direction, we will bend over backwards to make sure that they get that.
He gave me flashbacks. I completely forgot about the struggles of the printer.
Every student knows that struggle, and they are always happy to find that printer that they can use.
Absolutely. Especially when it's a color printer. That's the better part.
Fancy.
Man, that is great. So is there anything you guys do specifically for the veteran or veteran affiliated students, like in whether it be some sort of onboarding process or events throughout the year?
Yeah, actually we do. My center is actually on the new student orientation route. So whenever students are coming in, whether or not they identify or not, the students will rotate through our center, and we're able to, have a welcoming speech for them.
Part of the tour.
Yes, actually, very much so. Other departments have actually invited me over to give a presentation to their departments and their students. So we hit about 95% of the students across the board with a new student orientation. And if any of them do identify, or they don't know that there's a veteran center, they do by the time they're onboarded, which is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That's awesome. All right. So with everything going on, with the different schools and everything, why would you, aside from working there, why would you say that, veterans should come to Westfield State University for their educational journey?
That's always a question I love answering. We really are a welcoming and an inclusive environment. We are one of the most affordable universities in our area. We have a variety of programs. We do have five-year programs for undergraduate and graduate studies. But one of the things that I do like about our university is that we have dedicated school certified officials. And what I mean by that is that I'm there and my assistant's there. That is our job. Our job is to be there for our military connected students, to help them transition from their military life into this university. Most schools nowadays are trying to make that a dual hat, where you have a financial aid counselor and a school certified official. We love the fact that when somebody calls us, we're there, we can pick up the phone, we can talk to them. They can walk in the door and get the same amount of education and experience and knowledge that we can give them all the way through the day. It's one of the things that I love about this job. I also do. I also go out to Barnes Air National Guard Base and Westover Air Force Base and do GI Bill presentations and stuff like that. So we get the word out to let them know that we're here for them. And it's one of the things where you have a veteran there. So you have a veteran there that knows the struggles, knows what you're going through, especially now because I am in a master's program, and being a non-traditional student, it's one of those things that the experience can move on to them as well. So they know that they're not alone. I mean, right now I'm creating what I call the student success binder, and it's divided up in green, yellow, and red sections. Green's everything's good. Here's all the clubs, there's all the entertainment. Yellow is kind of like, I'm struggling a little bit, and then red is like, I may fail this class. What do I do? That type of stuff. So we're always looking out for them. We're always looking out to support them when they need it, if they need it, that type of thing. So I love my center. I love my university, and I think it would be a phenomenal place for a lot of our veterans.
That's fantastic, because every single veteran is going to identify with the green, yellow, red. Dr. Hare, I love these interviews and the passion that each one of these people is bringing to their university or college. It's just absolutely amazing.
It is. And I think, as we all go through our journey figuring out schools, knowing that all these are out there, because again, it's about finding a best fit. And so thank you, Rob, for joining us on Vet S.O.S. today. On behalf of the Vet S.O.S. family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us. You can find Vet S.O.S. podcast on all your favorite platforms, YouTube and social media. Make sure you subscribe and follow Vet S.O.S. so you don't miss a thing. And remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the Vet S.O.S. Lifeline.